We are looking at the writing model for Unit 11, and this is related to Lesson 9. In this example, this is a formal email written to an elected official. Again, for your assignment, you do not have to write to an elected official. It can be any person of authority or supervisor in your life. Community, such as where you live, academic, a professor or a dean at the college that you're attending now or may attend in the future, somebody related to your city that you want to propose solutions to a problem that you see around your city, or anything else that you might actually use a formal email. Now, I will say the publishers of this book, as we're looking at this formal email, they do a couple things that I don't necessarily think is required. And one of those is to include your full address and especially your email at the end of the email, because they have your email when it's coming from you. The only time you might include your email is if you're asking them to reply to a different email. So maybe they sent an email out to everyone and you want them to reply separately. Okay. So you'll notice that this email has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sections. I would recommend that these 2 paragraphs in this email could be joined as one paragraph, and that's why I recommend just 4 paragraphs. Okay, so in the first paragraph, you are going to present a little background information and the problem. And we're going to read this email together in a moment, but background information and the problem. In the next paragraph, you can see they start off right away with the phrase "to solve this problem." That's a good phrase because it shows that you are presenting a solution. Okay, so the second paragraph should be a solution. The third paragraph, you should show the results if they take your recommendations. So what are the effects of this? Okay. And then the last paragraph, it's very short, and you are just saying, thank you, I appreciate your time and your attention to this. And so this is the formula. Okay, again, this book has 5 paragraphs. I recommend 4 because there's really no reason to separate these 2. Now, you'll notice that the subject line, funding for adult education, there's no foreword, there's no reply, and this is a clear indication to the reader what this is going to be about. And then the greeting is very respectful. Okay, it's very formal. Dear Representative Garcia, again, this is an elected official. If it's a dean or if it's a landlord, if you know their name, you can put their position, representative, landlord, and their last name. One thing that this book does, the authors of this book do that I also disagree with a little bit, is they use a comma here. A comma is okay if you use a comma, but so is a colon. ... is a colon. I always recommend a colon for formal writing. It's just a little bit more formal than the comma is, generally speaking. Other formal greetings, if you don't know the name of the person that you're writing to, you can use "to whom it may concern." And notice here that every word is capitalized because this represents a name. We don't know the name, but names and titles should be capitalized. And so "to whom it may concern" should be capitalized. You can use "dear sir" or "madam." We don't capitalize "or," but we do capitalize "sir" and "madam." And notice in my examples here, I'm also using the colon, not the comma. At the end of the email, you want to make sure that when you are saying goodbye, you're doing that respectfully and formally. So instead of saying goodbye, you can say sincerely. And here we do use a comma. Best regards, comma, appreciatively, comma, or this one is very formal, but because this email is about supporting adult education, you can use a phrase like this: yours in solidarity for, and then your topic for adult education, for public transportation, for a beautiful apartment complex. And so you can bring your topic into your farewell if you choose to. Okay, I'm going to read this email, and you can see the formulaic or the formula, the structure of this email as I read it. I did highlight the word thus. You see it twice here in the solution paragraph. Thus means therefore, as a result. It's very formal, not required, but this writer uses it, I think, to be concise. However, using it twice in the same paragraph, in my opinion, is not the best. Okay. Remember, we always read like a writer so we can write like a reader. And so I look at this example and say, there's a lot that I like about it, but there are things that I can also improve and I want to apply to my writing. So let's look at it. The subject is funding for adult education, written by Chang Li to the representative whose last name is Garcia. Dear Representative Garcia, as a resident of Florida, I ask you to support an increase in funding for adult education in the next state spending bill. I'm worried about what is happening to the adult education programs in our communities. In the past 5 years, funding for these programs has decreased. As a result, Florida residents are not getting the help they need in order to be productive and contributing members of our state. So these two paragraphs are what could be written as one, give good background information. We know where this is happening, how long it's been happening in the past 5 years, and what the problem is, that they need more funding. Next paragraph, the solution. To solve this problem, I urge you to vote to increase funding for adult education. Making adult education a top concern will strengthen our state for all residents. To be successful in the workplace, our residents must possess important basic skills. Employers want to hire workers who can communicate well in English. Thus, workers need to know how to read, write, and speak English well. We need to increase literacy rates so that our workers can get and keep jobs that pay well and thus strengthen Florida's economy. Here's the results. I strongly support funding adult education in Florida. Funding adult education is an investment in the financial success of our residents and our state. The more literate people are, the stronger our workforce and economy will be. If you work to increase the state budget for adult education, you will help all of our residents, our local workforce, and our economy. And then the final paragraph is a quick thank you. Thank you for your attention to this problem. I look forward to hearing from you. Sincerely, Chang Li. Again, adding your address might be important to show in this case that you're a resident of Florida, or if you're writing your landlord that you are a resident of that apartment complex. If you're writing a university or college professor, you might want to tell them what program you're at so they see that you're a student there. The email, I think, is unnecessary. So you are going to write a formal email and follow this formula to help present a problem and a solution.